And Antonio Albacete. The two of them go flying through the right-hand side, then the left-hand side. Jochen Hahn around the outside, and Lucas Hahn, no father and son, come together on the exit of turn one.
And the best thing about this is the fact that it's still a 15-minute sprint race. They're not extended the time of the race. It's still just like, it's going to be, what, 7 laps of Spa-Francorchamps?
Yeah. We get to the real nitty-gritty of motorsport.
Cranston and Smith are side by side for the title in the very final race of the season. As they go back up the hill towards the Schumacher. Nils Kor clips the back at 10. Simon Povey clips the side of Nils Kor. They go over the hill and Povey's around.
Oh my God, that's going to definitely be the thumbnail when it hit me in the right direction. Thank you so much.
23 cars.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to another round of the wonderful CDM Clio Cup. We're into the second half of the season, the very first season of the CDM Clio Cup, and we have crossed the pond over to the United States and the delightful Barber Motorsports Park. As I've just said to the drivers in the drivers briefing, this is a wonderful circuit in these little machines. It really is one that you wouldn't expect it to work at, but it really goes well here. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. My name's Chaz Draycott. I'm delighted to have in the commentary box again with me Dara Thacker for another round of the season. Dara, we've had a very busy championship so far. Should be really good fun this next round of the championship.
Yep, at a fun circuit as well, which I think the drivers are going to be looking forward to. It's not the easiest to race in a GT3 car. You don't see the best racing, but in these Clios, I'm sure it's going to be more than exciting. You could just see down there a driver going a little bit too deep at turn 5 at that hairpin. It is one where there isn't much room for error. The curbs and the grass are a little bit more deadly than at other circuits as well, and definitely a circuit where I think drivers are going to feel challenged over the course of the 3 20-minute races tonight.
I've just had a reminder off my good mate James, ironically sending me a Discord message to tell me to turn off my my Discord notifications. But quite frankly, I had to turn the streamer mode, as it is, off earlier on to get a username for a part of the protest system where we've been putting in different usernames and things. We are moving over to a protest system in the championship now, so penalties are not just randomly, well, not randomly looked at, but the stewards don't go through every single incident that iRacing picks up. It is down to the drivers to basically, if they feel aggrieved by an incident, they protest it and they send a form in, and then the stewards will look at it. And there's been a lot of help going to sorting that out for this week going forward, so thank you very much to those involved. We've got the Drivers' Championship up on screen now, and unfortunately, due to a change in circumstances, Ian Stitchbury will not be with us for the rest of the season. That means that Dan McCauley has opened up things at the top of the championship on 144 points. He's just 2 points clear of Sam Van Olst, but after a number of incidents back at Jerez, Sam is now the recipient of a one-race ban, so he will not be here tonight. So that means that Alex Fretwell, Lee Berridge, Matt Hoyland, Jack Johns, all of those drivers here tonight have a chance to score some points over some of the top runners, and I'm intrigued to see what they will make of it. I'm happy to say that Leo Aino will be here tonight. Unfortunately, Leo will be heading over, well, not unfortunately, he's heading over to Europe, but he's off to do his racing licence in the real world, but it does mean that he won't be able to complete the rest of the season. He has, however, had a flight change, and he will be taking part here tonight. We're just into the second half of the season though, Dara, and what a calendar we've got ahead of us for this second half, eh?
Yeah, we shouldn't be worried about the air miles, have we? We've across the world. Europe to Asia, back to Europe again, now to the US. It's a good looking calendar for the rest of the season as well, with Zolder, Red Bull Ring and Zandvoort to round out the championship, but it's our only American trip, and it's definitely the right circuit to use for one and done.
Absolutely, I think. I love Barber. I think it's a really, really cool racetrack, and a number of the drivers, I'm sure, appreciate this one as well and look forward to seeing what it gives us tonight. Ben Gregory running in second place in practice up to now. Ben had a fantastic race meeting back at Jerez, didn't he, when he returned from a one-race ban and suddenly just smashed it out of the park all night, didn't he? Really showed that the ban had made a difference, actually, hadn't it?
Oh, definitely. And I think it's good to see that we had that kind of competition towards the front. Lots of different drivers getting themselves involved with some of the leading battles, because it keeps the championship fresh, keeps the keeps us on our toes up here in the commentary box of who could be the ones to challenge and dive their way off pit road to start this qualifying session.
It literally is a dive, isn't it? Down in towards turn 1 here at Barber. It is a very, very steep part of the circuit. Sounds like two of the drivers made a little bit of contact in the pit lane there, which clearly they're not ghosting through each other as much as they thought. There's John Breitenbach and Jack Johns. John was very funny at Jerez. He said he'd never driven the circuit before. His first laps were there, and he messaged everybody telling them that he was going to turn up and he was just going to run around at the back. He then went and put it on pole position. So he did say tonight he's bought the circuit recently. Can he go on pole, or will he sit at the back? We'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Yep, he will. I mean, if he's had any practice, I think the likelihood is not. If he's not, then obviously he's a surefire hit for pole. Jack Johns had a good week last week, didn't he? Back at Jerez. We'll see if he can kind of improve on that, use that to his advantage, give himself a nice boost of confidence in that striking Gold Sus car.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous machine. Unfortunately, with the penalty applied, we won't see two of them here this week. Sam van Olst missing this round of the championship due to a penalty. But we look forward to having Sam back for the next round of the championship, which will, of course, be a very dramatic one as we head back into Belgium, to Zolder, and we head into the rain. We've got a wet race in the championship, which I'm very much looking forward to. Alex Fretwell will be hoping for a bit of redemption here this week, I think, Alex. He was frustrated after Jerez, obviously, played a blinder in the final race of the night to get through into the lead for about half a second until there was contact. But it was deemed that the contact was, well, accrued to by many things. So, unfortunately, Alex was, well, it didn't restore the position. So Alex knows that he's got the pace to be up there. And I mean, he's right up there in the championship fight. So maybe tonight is that opportunity to finally get it over the line, get a win.
Yep, and I think you're going to be feeling with a couple of the drivers obviously not here tonight. He's going to be feeling like it's a good opportunity to pick up that win. I think for everyone here tonight, they're going to be feeling confident that they have a chance and that the opportunities are a little bit more open than maybe they were last week or the weeks before. So, yeah, I think a lot of ambition coming in tonight. A lot of drivers feeling like they have a good chance. And this is the kind of circuit that can kind of throw up anything. So positioning yourself in the right place at the right time could be absolutely crucial.
Yeah, that's the thing. Track position in a championship like this as well is very important. Sure, we don't have a hell of a lot of cars on the circuit, but you've got to be in the right place at the right time on these tracks to make the most of every little inch of the road. And these things don't really benefit from slipstream like they do in the real world. Just had a bit of news. Unfortunately, Leo Ainer will not be joining us here tonight. He bought the circuit to race with us here tonight, but in the time it's taken to download, he's unfortunately missed the start of qualifying. I thought it was the end of qualifying that he had to be in for, and unfortunately not. Good to see Rob Sutherland in the chat. Hope you're well, Rob. We miss you here tonight. Is everything all right? We haven't heard from you, mate, so it'd be good to know if you were missing around. Dan McCauley leads the championship at the moment, effectively, with Ian Stitchbury not here. But then again, Dara, you know, if we're being picky, he still has to score some points, doesn't he, to get up there? Needs 11 points at least.
Yep, he does, and I think he'll back himself to get that. I mean, he's shown some really, really effective racecraft over the course of the season so far. Made some fantastic moves when it matters, and so I think he'll be looking to try and back that up tonight. The Berridge currently fastest with 5 times, 4 times currently setting. Alsberg's time isn't really representative, being 4 seconds off the pace. But not a lot to separate that top 4, and I think that's to be expected. I don't think there's going to be big gaps in this qualifying session. No,
I think it is going to be really, really close stuff all the way through the evening. It's not a long lap even for these cars. 1 minute 37. It's amazing to think that IndyCar comes around here, isn't it? It's really, really cool. Obviously a very short lap for them. Leo Ainer is suddenly very excited. He's just said he scored a last-minute goal, and he's somehow managed to still get in. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure how he's done that, but he is in the session. So the Ragnotti Racing team will be at full pelt tonight, with having Stuart Clark up there as well in car 23. Stuart's had a bit of a bruising season so far, and it's not getting any better with that little lock-up into the hairpin. But we hope that he has a nice, clean night of it. Good to see Ashley Beard back tonight. His teammate James Underhill, unfortunately, relegated to the sidelines after a pretty miserable day, so hope all is well, James. But Ash flying the flag for the Spontex CDM Esports squad in this round. And there is Leo Ainer, straight out on track and straight up there. And there goes Ben Gregory, top of the pile now. Ben will be very, very pleased with that. He goes a 10th.5 clear of Lee Berridge, while Osberg puts a representative time on the board and goes 4th.
Yep, he does, and puts himself right between Beard and Shirley. I mean, it's so close, isn't it? 2 tenths in the top 2 rows at the minute. Really just shows the level of competition in this series. It is really quite close. That's what we want to see. John Bryan backing up his brilliant pole with currently the slowest time of anybody so far. It's good from John. Up and down like a yo-yo at the moment.
Sandbagging. That's what that is.
Yeah, he's waiting for the end of the session.
Yeah, he's going to... I was going to use a phrase there that I'm definitely not going to use in professional broadcasting. Danny Weir in the session at the minute, just running, trying to get his first valid lap on the board. He's actually done 3 laps already, has Danny. Let's have a look at this chicane here from on board the car. It's so difficult. In a front-wheel drive car, it feels absolutely horrid through there. It's disgusting. Really, really difficult to get it right. And I know that Danny and the guys will be hating the fact that they have to try and compete with it through there. Finally, the qualifying graphics have just come up at the bottom. Martin Shirley improving on his time in the first sector, not in sector 2. Dan McCauley does a purple final sector. It's not quite enough to go to pole position, though. And the Scotsman goes second by 63 thousandths of a second. Ashley Beard next across the line, then Ben Gregory, current pole sitter. Alex Fretwell, by the look of it, is surely going to move up the order with this lap time. It's not far off pole. It might be 5th, 6th place for Alex Fretwell. 137.4, 137.3 for Rosberg puts him third. 3 thousandths of a second ahead of Berridge. Incredibly, incredibly close stuff. Lee Berridge has improved in the first sector and the final sector, and he goes pole. Berridge pole by 43 thousandths of a second here, Dara. Some great improvements coming through from just about everyone. Look at this.
Yeah, it's staying tight, isn't it? And the track does look like it's improving for the drivers, which is what you want throughout the session. Gives you hope that you can stick that time in right towards the end. But yeah, again, not a lot to separate them, which means that it is going to be close when we get to those final runs. It's not going to be over till everyone has completed their session. Stuart Clark, can he improve? Surely he can. Yes, he does. Goes P9, and again, he's P9, but he's less than 7 tenths away. Very, very tightly packed at the minute.
Dan McCauley's improved in the middle sector, but he was just off the road there as we cut to him, so not sure that's going to work out. What about Leo Ayner, car number 4? Race winner so far this season, Leo, in the very wet race back at Donington Park. Just does it over the crest. God, if I had a quid. It's very easy to do that, especially in a front-wheel drive car that eats understeer for breakfast. Jack Johns has crossed the line, but haven't seen him set a valid time yet. He's done 3 laps. Leo is going very slowly here. I think he's waiting for a car to go past. Yeah, he lights it up as he gets moving, but Ben Gregory's there and Alex Fretwell. Ben Gregory's actually improved in the middle sector. What about the final sector? Fretwell's looking good behind him as well. Oh, Leo's having to pull over to one side. They're not allowed to reset in qualifying, so he's going to have to do a whole nother lap if he wants to go anywhere. Alex Fretwell goes up into 3rd place in car 52. And he will be happy to be just 64 thousandths off. Look at that, barely a 10th. Covering the top 4 now, Dara. This is brilliant, this.
Yeah, it's exactly what we want, isn't it? It's still it's nearly a 100-second lap, and yet we're still getting gaps this small. It's a lot about the minimum apex speed in so many of these corners. It's such a flowing circuit. It's more about how much bravery you have and how much you trust the car. And I think generally that's why we're seeing some close times, because it is coming down to those really fine margins of who can carry that extra kilometre an hour or two in the middle of these corners. Stuart Clark, can he jump up from P9? He's a couple of attempts to get towards Shirley. Let's see if he can find it. 3 green sectors. I think this will be an improved time, and he will go up to P7. So a good place for Stuart to be in. And, I mean, he's 7th, and he's 3 tenths away. I mean, if he repeated that size of improvement, he'd be on pole.
It's nuts, isn't it? Absolutely nuts. Jack Johns coming around the final corner now. A bit of a short shift through there, just to try and keep the torque nice and strong. It's a very torquey little engine, is this Clio. Jack's improved 2 sectors, but he goes, well, he's only half a second off, and he's down in 10th place. Not what we expect from Jack at all. We know just how quick he is. He scored a podium or 2, actually, back at Jerez, and I know that he was very, very happy about it after a busy, busy night. A few drivers still to cross the line. Still no lap time from Leo Ayner, but he's out there just trying to find a bit of space on track by the look of it. If we look at the track map at the moment, you can see there are little pockets of space here and there, but he's just trying to stay out of the way. He's going to sit behind Jan Osberg now, I think, and get on with it. Ashley Beard is going through the pit lane. There's a few of them just going through the pit lane at the minute. But it's busy, busy stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's busy on track. No one really wants to spend too much time sitting in pit lane and waiting, do they? So they all want to be out there setting times when they can. I'm right in saying that when the clock stops, that's it, isn't it? In this session, or am I getting myself completely in a...
yeah, as soon as the clock hits 0, that's it. That is game over.
Yeah, okay. I thought I'd double check, only because that is what I thought it was, and then for a sudden I started doubting myself. No, that's correct then. So we've only got 4 minutes, which means that realistically you've only got another 2 more timed laps that the drivers are going to be able to set, particularly if you are Martin Shirley coming around turn 1. He won't be able to complete 3 laps. So it's this and one more for him to see if he can jump up from what is currently P9. Leo Ayner doing his best impression of, I don't really know, of running around the circuit, it seems, nearly 12 seconds off. We'll see if he can jump up towards the end. And we've got a couple of drivers without a lap time on the board yet, including Mr. Harry 7 as he crosses the line. What's the time going to be for him? Is it good enough to jump up anywhere competitive? P11, just about a second off the pace.
Yeah, it's his first valid lap, and that's his 6th lap that he's completed as well. Shows you just how easy it is to pick up an incident point or an off-track around here. Danny Weir is going to be next. He's currently near the rear of the field. Leo Ayner is understandably improving after having to dial it back for a couple of laps just to find a position on the circuit. He's going to be coming around the final couple of corners now. In fact, actually, no, Leo has been through the pits and is back out. Let's see if Danny improves in the final sector here to try and get closer to the top spot. Is it an improvement? Is that first sector good enough? No, it's not for Danny, unfortunately. Doesn't improve there. John Breitenbach is next across the line after Jan Osberg. Then Dan McCauley currently running in 4th position. Is he going to move up the order and make an improvement? Doesn't look like it. Still 3 minutes to go here, and it looks like some of these guys have peaked early. But Lee Berridge, he'll be absolutely over the moon to find himself on provisional pole position. And Lee took his first ever CDM Series win back at Okayama after a great defensive drive. And now he's showing that that position in the championship where we have him at the moment, it's not just a fluke.
No, it's not. And he's... Oh... Well, he's not taking the right line through there. I was about to say he's really shown the others how to do it, but yeah, don't do that, guys. And that wouldn't be ideal. He's going to have, what, one more times run? He's coming around the final couple of corners now. So he's got one more go to try and put a little bit more space between himself and the rest of the field, and he'll probably want it, considering how close it is. This is the last attempt for Leo Ayner. He's not going to be able to get to the line in the next 20 seconds or so, so that's him done for the session. He will start 14th. In this race, and yeah, we are now starting the final runs. If you almost imagine, if this session, you know, if you could finish the lap you're on when the timer hit 0, the checkered flag would effectively fly about now. So the lap that you're currently on is the final lap that you're going to be able to finish. And for Jan Osberg, that's this one.
Yeah, he's improved in the first sector. The middle sector wasn't an improvement, so we'll just have to see how it looks around the final corner. He's currently 5th fastest, so I know he won't be too upset with that. It's great to see how mixed the grid is every single week. I love it. We have such randomised grids by the look of it. Time and time again. Alex Fretwell into the pit lane. Jan Osberg goes up into 4th place. So that first sector was good enough as Dan McCauley then puts him back to 5th. Dan has gone 11 thousandths faster than Ben Gregory, but he's still 32 thousandths off of Lee Berridge. But Ben Gregory, purple middle sector. Hopefully that's not a disconnect. That's surely got to be pole for Ben Gregory right at the death. 0.2 of a second clear for Ben Gregory. Wow, his internet connection is probably about 0.2 of a second as well by the look of it, his ping. But wow, very good stuff by Ben Gregory. He goes fastest after what looked like it was going to be a session dominated by Lee Berridge.
Yep, but Lee's going to have this one attempt to reply. Ashley Beard didn't improve. John Roberts hasn't improved. Will stay P12. Harry 7 has a chance to go up from P11, but there's only a couple more drivers left to cross the line. Here is Lee Berridge around the final corner now. Does he have enough juice in the lap to boost him to pole? Let's see, towards the line. He needs to find 0.2 of a second. Has he been able to find enough? I don't think he has by that metric, and no, he's half a second away. We'll have to stay P2. And that will be that then for the session. Ben Gregory stolen pole at the end.
Very good stuff from Ben Gregory. He will be over the moon with that one. Very, very good stuff. It was great to see him go really well back at Jerez after having the race ban. But now to come here and then perform with a pole position like that, you love to see it. Been racing with Ben on iRacing for, God, 12 years now. And it's good to see that he's still got it in him as Ben. Let's have a look at the grid then for the first race of the night in the CDM Clio Cup. It's Ben Gregory and Lee Berridge on the front row. I tell you what, Andrew Whitehead will be very happy with the boosted squad. Boosted SimSport and boosted Motorsport, that is, though. Two different teams on the front row. Dan McCauley is 3rd on the grid alongside Alex Fretwell. Watch out for those two. They are surefire shouts to potentially win the race. Jan Osberg and Ashley Beard make up row 3. Really good qualifying from Ash. Stuart Clark starts in 7th alongside John Breitenbach. Martin Shirley will start alongside Jack Johns. Both of those drivers sure to make some progress in the race. Harry 7 will start 11th, much to our disappointment, with John Roberts in 12th. And it's Danny Weir and Leo Ayner on row 7. Matt Hoyland will start in 15th place after serving his qualifying ban. And James Underhill, unfortunately, will not take part in the rest of the festivities here tonight. There's the view back from Ben Gregory, starting on the inside line here, Dara, which puts him on the outside for turn 2. He needs a really good run through that first corner, doesn't he?
Yeah, does just cover off the line. I mean, if you have enough apex speed, the car on the outside is never going to have a chance at the inside line towards turn 2. So if you can cover that off, then you'll be able to easily control the line through that very long right-hander. I mean, it's over 180 degrees worth of rotation to the right. So it is going to be crucial to get the inside line there, because if you don't, and you're on the outside line, the radius of the corner and the distance you actually have to travel is that much further. But I think, with the exception of that one little slot on the grid back in, what is that, P12? There we go. I think we're ready, Chaz.
We absolutely are. Let's get the first race of the night underway in the CDM Clio Cup. The lights come on, and for round 5 at Barber, we are underway. A little puff of smoke from the third row of the grid there from Jan Osberg. Looks like a poor start for John Roberts. Leo Ayner gets around him. Berridge moves over to the left straightaway to try and defend from Dan McCauley. There's no worrying for Ben Gregory at the very front of the order. Everyone taking it nice and tidy into the first couple of corners. They're nearly 3 wide in the middle there. Harry 7 has to cut back to the inside line, side by side for third position between Fretwell and McCauley. These two door to door as they head over the crest of the hill, down towards the hairpin for the first time. Looks like Jack Johns, Harry 7 and Martin Shirley 3 wide in the background here into the hairpin, Dara.
Yep, heaviest braking zone on the circuit. Do they all make it through nicely? Yeah, a couple of drivers going up the inside there. Look for a moment where we could have some contact, but they've made it out smartly. And Dan McCauley is the one on the charge up to P3, and it's difficult now for Fretwell. He's being challenged by Jan Osberg in towards this tricky little complex of corners. It's a right, left, right, but not really a left. It's just more of a avoid death, really, on that curve as you make your way through. These cars are a little bit bigger, though, than a single-seater, and therefore should be a little bit nicer over that curve, but you will negotiate their way through nicely, and towards the back end of the circuit, it has to single file out, and they have on this opening lap.
Yeah, it looks all nice and tidy so far. Apparently Harry 7's got 10 off-tracks already. I'm not quite sure how he's managed that, but according to our timing software, he's got 10 incident points. I really don't think that is correct, and I definitely hope that it's not. Dan McCauley, after holding off Alex Fretwell for the first couple of corners, is now attacking Lee Berridge. It's who's got the most blue car, I suppose, out of these pair. Beard is up a position ahead of Jan Osberg. Jan losing out as a result of that battle with Dan. But at the end of the first lap, it's Ben Gregory, Lee Berridge, Dan McCauley, Alex Fretwell and Ashley Beard, the top 5. Then it's Jan Osberg, Stuart Clark, not Sean Clark, John Breitenbach, Jack Johns and Harry 7 completing the top 10. Looks like Breitenbach and that is Stuart Clark having a little bit of a ding-dong there. Whole field nice and close together, though. The whole field actually separated by just 6 seconds after one lap as well. Breitenbach having to take avoiding action as Stuart goes a little bit slower into the hairpin than he thought. Now he's under attack.
Yes, indeed. And let's see if he can try and fend this off, because Johns has been racy of late, obviously, after a good race evening or meeting last week. See if he can walk it around the outside at 5. That's too late for Harry 7. That is just not the right line at all. I feel like actually that might have been him that did it when I mentioned it at the top of the show, actually. In that fluorescent yellow car. Nearly a Brawn, isn't it, with that kind of colour.
Oh, I don't mind the Spectra livery, but let's not do the Brawn disjustice or disservice, please.
No. I'm just saying the shade. It's a Brownish shade, isn't it?
A Brownish shade.
Not brown.
No.
Anyway. Just move on from that. I'm going to dig myself
Yeah, very quickly.
And I'm not very tall, so I can't get out of it. Matt Hoyland is ahead of Leo Ayner. I think Ayner's going to be hoping for a little bit more, obviously after, I think surprising himself by being available tonight. He'll want to, use that opportunity and give himself some decent points. Currently in P12 after, what was a disappointing qualifying, not really setting a representative lap time. Oh my word! John's up the inside of Breitenbach. Kind of seeing that contact coming from a mile away, and they've just backed away with it.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the move from Jack, and he was never going to make the corner. You could tell even from Hoyland's perspective. Don't forget, Matt Hoyland had a qualifying ban, so he started right at the back of the grid. So he is making progress further and further up the order. Here goes Jack Johns back down the inside. More contact with Breitenbach. John's car swings one way, then the other. Martin Shirley tries to take advantage of that down the inside, tries to put his nose in, Hoyland's going to be the, he's going to be the safety car for all of this, I imagine. Shirley, I think, just blipped on the brakes on the right-hand side there just to make sure he didn't go into the back of Sean. Into the hairpin they go. Jack is going to go for it again down the inside. He doesn't give up, this boy. Shirley tries a cutback. Doesn't quite work. Breitenbach now on the outside. Look at Hoyland. Hoyland's managed to get his nose down the inside of all of this. Jack's going to move over. Careful, boys. Goodness me. Matt's made good jokes and light of his incident with Ben Gregory back at Jerez. I did tell them not to go 2x2 into here tonight, but looks like they're ignoring the driver's briefing. I suppose they couldn't really get out of that. Fair play. Jack Johns gives the room, makes it work round there. Breitenbach gets the car stopped on the apex. That was really good working together by all of these guys, but goodness, that was pretty focusing stuff for half a lap there.
Yep, and they've just about made it through, and safely as well. I think it's going to give themselves more confidence to go at it a little bit more the later on we go into the evening. So well, that's what you want to hear as a steward, right? What is on the top of Martin Kenyon's car? Can we go back on ball on that roof cam?
On Matt Hoyland's.
Oh, is it? Yeah, Matt Hoyland's car.
Martin Kenyon's had a ban, so he's not here.
What's that?
That is.
Sorry, not Martin Kenyon. Matt Hoyland.
It's not what you want it to be.
Is it a dog?
It's a dog's face. Yes, it's Danny Weir's bulldog's face.
I'd make sure. Just make sure because
it does look it does look like the bad end of a roast chicken, but it's not. It's no offense to your dog's nose, Danny, but yeah, it's Danny Weir's bulldog. Simple as that.
I'm glad we've cleared that one up. I'm glad you were talking because I was just fixated by what on earth that was as they were going 2x2. Dan McCauley's fixated on Lee Berridge at the moment as he looks to go in towards turn 5 with maybe a little bit of an attacking edge. Berridge was a bit tight into that corner. I don't know whether he just locked up a bit and started panicking or not, but either way, McCauley's got a better exit. And he's going to be close, but not quite close enough to make a move into this little complex of corners. They're keeping Ben Gregory on a tight leash, though, and not allowing him to get away much. And I mean, there's not more than a second gap until you get back between Osberg and Clark for 6th and 7th. So it's a tight pack at the front still. Do they hold it? Does he hold it? He does. Oh, my word.
Wow, bit of contact there. Jean Breitenbach and Martin Shirley. Martin had his nose down the inside. Jean gets tipped into a slide, and that is what she wrote for that corner. Jean lucky to carry on there and not be collected or involved in a bigger incident, but yeah, it's getting feisty near the front here. Dan McCauley starting to put a bit of pressure on Lee Berridge. Now, I think it was race 2 back at Okayama, where Lee eventually... Actually, no, race 3, Dan wanted to go chasing Ian Stitchbury, and yeah, he had to make his way through past Lee Berridge, and Lee drove a great defensive race, and Dan really commended him for it after the race in itself, and he did say that if he'd been able to get past Lee sooner, he was hoping he'd be able to catch Stitchbury, but yeah, Lee once again proving his defensive prowess. Ash Beard's going well at the moment, started 6th on the grid for Spontex CDM Esports, and that's his best qualifying of the season. Now he's up into 5th place. So far this season, his best result is 2 9ths back at Jerez last week, and one of them was not on the road actually. He got promoted due to a penalty for drivers ahead. But it's great to see this top 5 separated by just 1.2 seconds right now, Dara. This is great.
Yeah, very tightly collected together. 5 teams as well. 5 very different liveries.
Yeah.
Too. I was about to say it'd be difficult to mistake them, but I'm sure we're going to find a way over the next 12 and a half minutes of this race, and of course the 2 more 20-minute races that we've got coming up in a bit. McCauley getting a lovely view of Lee Berridge's exhaust there. Wonderful sights for Dan. I mean, he's hounding Lee at the moment, but there's no crack yet, is there?
No, absolutely not. Lee's doing a really, really good job. Must be the Dazzle camo all over that beautiful boosted motorsport machine. For many years that I've known the guys, they've always had exciting liveries on the cars. Some of their GT3 cars over the past few years have been absolutely insane to look at. You don't know which way they're going. It literally is dazzle camouflage. Jack Johns has a slowdown penalty. He's gone a little bit too hard over some of the curbs. That's going to surely lose him the spot to Matt Hoyland. It depends on how he serves this. He's moved over to the left-hand side. Either that or he's just gone deep. Hopefully he doesn't choose to serve that slowdown penalty on the apex here right in front of Matt, because that would be not very sporting. He may just have to move over to the right here and get on it. He has actually served it. Wow. So clearly not that big a slowdown penalty. John Breitenbach in the background there, having a bit of an excursion over the grass. Hoyland tucks it into the inside. Jack gives him plenty of room. Matt goes through. That's his 7th position gained of the race. Very good stuff by Hoyland. Really solid progress through the order. He was really angry at himself for his driving back at Jerez, but he'll be happy now that he's at least cracking on without incident. Jack flashing the lights, maybe just in hope of distraction one way or another. He's got Martin Shirley behind him. Martin's only lost 1 place from where he started since he had that little incident. But at the front, Ben Gregory's holding on, but like you say, Dara, he's on a very tight leash right now, isn't he, Ben?
He is, and I don't think he's going to be feeling entirely comfortable. with how this has panned out so far. A bit wide there from Lee. It's going to invite Dan McCauley onto the back end. Is he going to go to the outside? No, surely not. Yeah, won't be able to have the run. I think that's one of the difficulties about the Clio generally, is that once you know that you're not going to go for the line, it's just impossible to almost make it work around the outside like that, particularly into a fast corner, because there's just not enough lift off that you have to do, particularly around Barber, that you're just going to be able to make the run. Into this right-hander, though, you may be able to make a bit of a send. Fretwell's doing! Is he going to style it out?
Oh, no.
And Fretwell's been clear. In all of that, if you'd have told me 10 seconds ago Fretwell's the one to go around, I'd call you crazy. But in the end, somehow, that's what's befallen him.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's gotten on the brakes to get out of it or something. Let's have a look. He puts his nose down the inside of Dan, who's... he does try and get out of it, and then... I think he's just... I mean, he's trying to come to a stop, and I don't know where Ashley Beard comes from, but he just all of a sudden...
Ashley just turns into his rear end, I think. This will be the best for you, because he's on the inside. I think Ashley just starts turning, and then the second the contact's made, he's just a passenger. Yeah, you can see that. He's just the nose.
It's so unfortunate. I'm not quite sure why Alex was going that slowly. Obviously, he didn't want to turn down and gain a position from it. So, yeah, he was doing the right thing, and unfortunately, he's the one that loses out as a result. And we have had a word with the drivers. There's been many an occasion this season where if a driver had just given a position back or shown that they'd at least tried to after an incident, they may not have received penalties, and they would have gotten away with it without a 5-second, 10-second penalty, or even worse. And it's good to see that Alex has seen that and he's gone, nope, don't want a penalty for that. No, thank you. I'm not gaining a position that way. What it has done is absolutely obliterate that top 5 battle. So now Jan Ostberg is up into 4th position. Stuart Clark is now up into 6th. Hoyland is up into 7th. Fretwell is down into 12th position. Don't forget the top 15 get reversed. So it's the whole grid here tonight, with Danny Weir currently, don't say it, in 15th place. But Ben Gregory, well, that's given him a lifeline now, hasn't it? He's got his stablemate, Lee Berridge, behind him, who is still going to defend from Dan McCauley. But Ben Gregory is very much on his way to a race win if it all carries on going how it's going.
I don't quite know how we've been able to do more than half the race so far. It's flown by, isn't it?
Yeah.
After 8 laps. And with 8:30 to go, that is how many seconds? It's 510. We're going about 100 seconds a lap, so that's going to be 6 more laps to go in this race for Ben Gregory at the front of the field. Just trying to keep it calm and controlled. Berridge hasn't got the pressure from McCauley that he had before, which might mean he's able to push on a bit and catch up to Ben with that faint slipstream he'll be picking up down any of these, well, medium length straights. There's not really any long ones down here at Barber, is there? Which is ironic, because we're in Alabama down here.
Sounds like the world's worst pace notes. You could be going like, medium. It's not really a medium left, is it? And then by the time you've said it, you've gone through it and it's a tree.
Yeah.
It's like 4 left, and then halfway through it, you're going, is it really a 4 left? Like, caution, Titans. Nah, you forgot about that bit. We're already at the tree. It's quite funny, actually, on an EA WRC video I did recently. The co-driver does say triple caution, and I go, why? And then hit the tree. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
But it happens. What has also happened, sorry, Dara, I'm going to interrupt myself and talk over you before you start talking.
No.
But Ben Gregory has lost time to his teammate Lee Berridge, 2 tenths, and then another 2 tenths to Dan McCauley on that last lap, and so far during this lap. So the gap is getting closed very suddenly here with 7 minutes left to go. We may have another battle for the top 3.
Well, can I talk now? Cool.
Yes.
So it would be nice. It'd be nice to have that battle. And Lee is gaining. It's a bit wide from Dan. I think maybe I overreacted slightly, but either way, he's still in the realm. For 3 tenths, just about on that last lap, just over that was gained by Lee Berridge, McCauley, and Osberg, basically matching that. So they're all kind of catching up to Ben. Is the pressure getting to him? With only a handful of laps left to run here, I hope not. But we can't exactly rule it out, as they're on their way through 2, 3, and 4 once again. Just a lot of right hand down. I say a lot of right hand down. You can see the steering wheel that Matt Hoyland's doing. Watch the amount of lock that he puts into the hairpin. Tightest corner on the entire circuit. And look how much it takes to turn the car.
It's incredible, isn't it?
I mean, that wouldn't get me in a parking space in Tesco. I mean, that is incredible amounts of steer. I mean, you've got to be so careful with how much you put in.
Yeah, this car really demands you to be precise, and that's what's quite funny about this. You know, it's not a GT3 car, it's not a fully fledged touring car, it's a little tin top racer. You know, it's a little production car, but it really does demand a lot of precision from everybody that tries to drive it quickly. You have to be using as little lock as possible in every corner to extract the most out of the car. That's why some of the incidents look so exaggerated. You know, one tiny bit of contact in this car can really make it fling off in one direction or the other. Leo Ayner has a slowdown penalty, unfortunately, so he's going to be losing a bit of time naturally to Alex Fretwell, who is just behind him. Alex now back up into 11th place at the expense of John Roberts. We saw that move not too long ago. He's got Brayton back behind him, then Harry 7, and then Danny Weir. Martin Shirley is one of just 5 drivers who are currently in the position where they started this race. He is joined by the top 3 and John Roberts, who currently resides in 12th place. But I'm intrigued to see what the approach is for the rest of the night from these guys, because they know that with just 15 cars here, they're all just going to score points so long as they finish, right? So surely they might chill it out a bit.
Goodness me, Chaz, for someone so experienced, you shouldn't make that kind of silly statement. They're never going to kill it, are they?
No, maybe not.
They're always going to go for it. Fretwell, I mean, he's trying to recover. Ayner started at the back, feels like he deserves more. He's going to need a little bit more help getting around the corner, just about gets it done. But he's going to have an awful run. Here comes Roberts and Brayton back. Brayton back, of course, looking to try and get himself maybe now into the top 11, because it's right there in front of him to take. He's taking a very tight line. Harry 7's taking a great big swooping line. He's going to get a huge exit, but he runs off the road slightly, so I think he's going to negate that slightly. But they run as a train, and somehow after all of that, they don't change position. Oh, maybe though, because Harry 7 is going to dip out of the slipstream in towards this complex, but you're never going to stick it down the inside here late, because you just don't break into the first part. So if you're not alongside, there's no chance of diving it. So in the end, he's going to have to stay in P14 for now.
Yeah, it's one of those cars. It's really difficult to overtake in this car. If it had the real-world slipstream sort of effectiveness as it does, it would be such a different car to watch racing. But it's honestly like it's got negative slipstream. It's almost like it's a sort of opposite of a vacuum. What's that called? It just pushes you away. It's like 2 magnets repelling against each other. The closer. Yeah, it's like someone's got a leaf blower where the exhaust is. Just pushes the other cars away. It's so frustrating, because one of my very favourite things to commentate on ever was Clio Cup Europe. And the racing was absolutely batty. It was ridiculous. It was just insane. You'd have drivers going through the Parabolica at the Hockenheim ring, and this car would probably top out at about 130 miles an hour, and some of them in the slipstream were getting to nearly 145 miles an hour in the slipstream, chasing each other down. It was the most insane thing. I've seen them 5 wide into that hairpin, and it didn't scare any of them, because they just knew that's Clio racing. It's insane. It's brilliant. And we've had some great racing here this season, but just not down to the slipstreaming mechanics. Stuart Clark trying to defend around the outside with Matt Hoyland. Looks like Matt may have it done. I think there's a tiny overlap. No, Matt's back in front. Great drive through the order this from Hoyland after a qualifying ban. Unfortunately for him, he has a pit lane start in race 2, so he will be not taking to the grid, but he's going to be proud of this one for sure. Some good points.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sorry for calling him Martin Kenyon before. I think because Hoyland and Kenyon have been in SRI and ESR and here for so long, I just imagined them as one person, but they're not. Sorry to both of you. I just there's so many names. You just forget who's who.
Big accident. Big contact. John Roberts, I think, lost it over the curb. Maybe got a bit unsettled by John Breitenbach. John collected him a second time, and that was a humongous moment. How on earth did we not see a Clio over a barrier there, Dara? Goodness me.
Yeah, it's just John Roberts having a snap, and unlucky for John Breitenbach to get involved in it. Oh, was there a bit of net codes? Oh no, there is contact, and that's what it started. And somehow, John Breitenbach has kept it in a straight line. I don't quite know how he's managed that.
I don't have a clue.
Hits the man twice, and then somehow keeps viewing the right direction. But either way, that's going to do the car in a little bit, and he's at the back of the order, likely just to score the solitary point for P15 into this one, which only has a lap and a half remaining.
Well, I think he's actually played that to perfection there, because that puts him on pole position for race 2, effectively. I think if Matt Hoyland has got a pit lane start, though, it will mean that he's effectively on pole if Matt's car's not there. Oh, it's all dicey here. Leo Ayner looking down the inside of Harry 7. Harry moves all the way over to the right-hand side. Leo keeps the car nice and tidy to the apex. He's letting it run a little bit wide, just glances the rear of the bright yellow Spectra racing machine. But we need to go back to the front because these guys are getting towards the second half of the lap now. And there's only one more lap to go after this. Gregory still leads it. It's Lee Berridge in second place. Ben has not had a race win. He's had 2 second places in a row back at Jerez. Lee Berridge has won a race this season and had a podium straight after it, but since then has not been on the podium. He was 4th in race 3 at Donington, then 4th in the first race of the night at Jerez. He would love another podium, but Dan McCauley has only had 1 race win this season, albeit with a couple of supporting podiums. 4 podiums so far. I know he won't want to waste this one, and with a good chance now to take the championship lead, the question's going to be, how hard is his attack going to be?
Yep, one more tour of this Barber Motorsports Park remains in race number 1 here tonight. Dan McCauley looking like he's just trying to pick the right line on Lee Berridge. He's not been able to lay much of a glove. The the biggest look that we've seen him have was the same time that, you know, Fretwell looked at him and there was the contact. So it's not been the easiest task for McCauley to make progress from where he's been most of the race. A little bit of a getting in the mirror tactic in towards turn 5. It's not going to affect Lee on the brakes. Bit of smoke coming up, though, bit of a lock-up, but it's just not enough gain on the exit to give down a chance, I don't think, in towards this turn 7 little chicane. No,
it's definitely not. It's really difficult to race them, isn't it? Just simply because of how underpowered they are. You don't really get a run on one another that much. Leo Ayner back down the inside here of Harry 7. Harry's going to try and get a cutback on him. I don't think that's going to work through there, although he does look to the left a little bit. They're really running each other all the way out there. We do have to come back to this, though, because through the high-speed section, Lee Berridge is keeping it to the inside. Sure, he narrows off that line through there, but because of how fast or not fast this car is, you don't really lose a lot of ground. Gregory is going to love to see this in his rear-view mirror, though, isn't he, Dara? Because this means that he's got an easier run to the flag.
Yep, he does, and just less than half a lap to go. Really just a couple of quarters left to go now for Ben Gregory. He's absolutely smashed this. I mean, he's handled the pressure beautifully well. The others have tried to push him to his limit, but he's not budged at all. Oh, and can they lead into the final corner?
Dan McCauley tries it at the last corner. Lee Berridge closes the door, but across the line to take the win. It's Ben Gregory with his first win of the season. 2 second places at Jerez, backed up with his first win. Very well done, Ben. Great drive by Lee Berridge. Dan McCauley 3rd. Jan Osberg next up. Ashley Beard's best result of the season in 5th. Hoyland with a great drive through from 15th on the grid to finish in 6th. And just behind him was Stuart Clark, Jack Johns, Martin Shirley and Alex Fretwell. Leo Ayner and Harry 7 complete the battle across the line. A very busy first race of the night, Dara, but you know what? That looked really, really clean, really good fun all throughout.
Yeah, did. A lot of good racing, a lot of good battling, but I think the drivers that are going to benefit most from the reverse grid are going to be very pleased about that indeed, considering how it seemed quite difficult to make some moves stick at this circuit.
Yeah, it really does look difficult to overtake, doesn't it? So I know that the guys are going to have to work very hard in this second race of the night to make that work. Matt Hoyland will be starting from the pit lane. We'll get to him in just a moment. He would be 10th on the grid, so that gives Ash Beard a bit more of a move. Jean Breitenbach will start on pole position, though, with John Roberts and Danny Weir joining him. He's got Harry 7, there is a H in it, sorry, on row 2. Then it's Leo Ayner and Alex Fretwell. Martin Shirley and Jack Johns are next up on the 4th row. Look out for Stuart Clark and Matt Hoyland as well. Ashley Beard and Jan Osberg next up on the grid, ahead of Dan McCauley and Lee Berridge. Ben Gregory and James Underhill will not be taking to the grid for this one. But as I mentioned, there's a few drivers here that could go really well. Alex Fretwell, Martin Shirley hasn't really had that much pace here tonight, by the look of it, as Martin. He's just sort of stuck to the midfield. But Fretwell from 6th on the grid with those drivers in front of him, I'd find it hard to argue against Alex there, but just depends how sort of wound up he is after that first race. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. But it's not long to go until we get ready for race 2, and they've got to be back on it immediately. Absolutely. The revs will rise, as will ours, in the commentary box, and the second race of the night in the CDM Clio Cup is very quickly underway. Jean Breitenbach stays all the way over to the left-hand side, keeps the car nice and straight. He's got John Roberts trying to make his way around the outside. John tries to cut in, nothing doing there.
look a little bit further back, and Alex Fretwell has kept it nice and tidy through the first corner. I'm going to try and keep my eye on Alex here because I reckon he could make good places very soon. He has to get out of it. Jack John's nearly into the back of him here. Leo Ayner trying to keep it tidy too. Dan McCauley looked like he hit a bit of a brick wall in the background. Hoyland starting from the pit lane has gotten going, but he's 11 seconds off this. Keep an eye for where he will be later on. Jack John's down the inside, makes it 3 wide, 4 wide. Harry 7 off again at the hairpin. How many times has he done that so far tonight? We've actually lost a few places there for Alex Fretwell. He ran really wide just to make sure there wasn't contact with the other guys. Jack Johns, well, he looks like a bit of a hero there, but he's got Leo Ayner banging doors with him.
He does, down in towards this turn 7, little complex. So they just about going to get it through. I thought it was done for Leo Ayner, but no, because Johns is still around the outside. Harry 7's got a drive-through penalty already that he's going to have to serve. McCauley is just about ahead of Lee Berridge, but Ben Gregory's got through on both of them. So race 1 winner already ahead of his 2 closest rival. That's an absolutely huge step for him. Wide in the background from Shirley. He's off the road. That's going to allow Fretwell through, and Beard is the next one to maybe have a go around the outside. That's going to be a bold place to try and stick it, but he's going to make it work, and he's up into P7 now.
Oh, and Shirley's been freight trained by the other cars trying to come through. Jan Osberg got close to Stuart Clark in there as well. They've got Ben Gregory, Dan McCauley, Lee Berridge, the top 3 from race 1, all in the mix. Ben gives Clark a bit of a shove into the penultimate corner. There's a lock-up. I thought Harry 7 had just speared off then. Then I remembered he's going to be going for the pit lane. McCauley puts his nose down the inside of Clark. Ben Gregory wants to get it back off him. Goodness me, this is lively, lively stuff. At the front of the order, though, John Breitenbach still leads. He's got John Roberts and Danny Weir going well, but look at Jack Johns after this first lap. 4 places gained from 8th on the grid. Sure, he made a move down the inside to make it 3 wide. We maybe would have advised against that. Oh yeah, we did in the driver's briefing. But you know what? He looks like a hero now. He's made it work. And hats off to Alex Fretwell and Leo Ayner, because both of them gave him plenty of room down the inside, didn't they? They played it nice and safe and made sure that everyone was able to continue racing.
And now Alex Fretwell, it's his turn to go down the inside. Leo Ayner, I think maybe chopping him off a little bit, but not in the end. Good racing between the two of them. Fretwell is just about going to get a good enough exit to have the nose just about in front as they go down towards turn 7. Is Ayner going to fight this one? Of course he is. Down in towards this this right-hander. Just make it your fingers out. And just about, Leo Ayner's going to hold on to that. Shirley and Beard in behind to try and recover the spots that they lost just a lap ago. They're involved too. Danny Weir's had a bad exit, which means that they're going to bunch up behind, and now Ayner is going to go side-by-side with Fretwell again. Fretwell on the inside line for the second part of the chicane, but he's going to get a better one on the outside. And Fretwell's now getting under pressure from Beard. It's all going on lap 2.
Martin Shirley in amongst this as well. He's come out of nowhere. He's now on the outside of Beard, while Beard was on the outside of him on the previous lap. Both of them losing time as a result of that. Number of cars going off in front. That was Jack Johns and John Roberts, both running wide. There's Jan Osberg, Dan McCauley, Ben Gregory, Stuart Clark, Lee Berridge, all involved here, all behind these guys. This is great stuff, but I sort of feel like we're holding our breath waiting for an inevitable incident. Jack Johns is pushing like mad in the early stages of this race because he knows he needs to get moving forward, doesn't he? He's got an opportunity here, does Jack, and he needs to get forward before more of the quote-unquote quicker guys get to him. But John will not make his life easy. John is a very good defensive driver, and with how bright green the back of that car is, you'd imagine it's a bit jarring. Hoyland with the fastest lap of the race, 1:37.4. That's because he's not in all of this.
No, he's not. It's a little bit chaotic down here. I mean, even with all this battling, the top 11 is by 4.5 seconds. It's crazy, really. And actually, when you take John Breitenbach out, they're split by less than 3 from 2nd to 11th as they run their way through turn 5. It's just an absolute cacophony of cars and engines as you work your way now down in towards turn 7. Leo Ayner on the inside line. Alex Fretwell maybe trying it around the outside once again. Was rinse and repeat of last lap. Just a little bit more of an advantage for Ayner, and it'll be a little bit more sedate through the middle of the corner. But Fretwell's going to be under pressure on the exit because Beard is shoving him through.
Yeah, Ashley Beard gets a really good run out of there in the Spontex CDM Esports car. Fretwell will be screaming at him, saying, no, he'll be tapping his lid, and he'll be saying, let's work together, karting stuff. Be tapping the lid and pointing forward. Jack Johns has backed out of that one for John Roberts to go on a bit of an adventure. It's nicely placed by Jack Johns, puts the pressure on, forces John into a mistake, and now Jack in the Gold Sus machine up into 2nd position. He had a really good run back at Jerez, a 2nd, a 6th, and a 3rd. Before that, he'd had no podiums, just 1 top 5 all season. He's turned it around at Jerez, and now he's showing us again that he's on the pace. Ashley Beard has suddenly turned it on as well, hasn't he? Ash got back into sim racing after a few years away at the start of this Clio Cup. Now he's got really good pace behind him. I think there was contact between Weir and Roberts. There was. Danny Weir, luckily, the only one to go straight on there, because that could have been much uglier, as now Aina gets into the back of him. Oh, he's got to leave room for Fretwell. Oh, God, I'm just holding my breath now.
Yeah, it's not comfortable viewing, is it, to be honest with you? We're just up in front, just trying to keep away. Aina and Fretwell, there was contact there. Both nearly speared off, 3 wide nearly in the background. It's an inside line from Aina. He's gone deep, though. That's going to allow Beard up the inside of 1, 2. He's taken 3 as he gets a good exit. And look at them all. It's just an absolute mad rush. Getting towards turn 7. There's contact. Can they keep it clean? Just about. There's flashing of the lights from Alex Fretwell, but he's going to try and make it. Is it 4 wide? Oh, Macaulay. I'm not entirely sure what Macaulay expected there, going in that deep to make it 4 wide. And in the end, he's got away with it, but Fretwell's into the gravel.
I think Martin Shirley moved right. Martin Shirley seemed to come over really hard right and put Fretwell across him. Stuart Clark across the nose of Ben Gregory. Oh, goodness me. It's all erupting in this second race. But that was not good. That was not good. Watch Martin Shirley in the turquoise car. He's got Jan Osberg in there. Aina goes left. Shirley, for some reason, moves right slightly. That puts Fretwell over to the right, and Macaulay's in the mix. And then, yeah, all of a sudden, it just got really ugly. So Shirley, well, he got tapped by Osberg, but Aina again moving around. And then, yeah, there's the contact between those two. And then he hits Dan as he comes backwards. And then Stuart Clark then... Oh, Stuart just locks up across the curb. Ben doesn't know he's there. Goodness me. It's lively, to say the least.
Yeah, it's a little bit busy down there. I think it's kind of what you get when it's effectively a full reverse grid, right?
Oh.
It's always going to be a little bit chaotic. As you see side by side. Jan Osberg, Leo Aina. Leo Aina's just not side by side of race, isn't he? He's just been locked in combat. It's basically been impossible to avoid. Down towards turn 5 they go. And somehow this time they're all single file. Can you imagine that last lap?
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? Absolutely nuts. I mean, Leo, seemingly after a great return back at Donington Park, and then I don't think we saw him at Jerez, did we? He couldn't make the last round. No, he couldn't. After a great return from his race ban after round 1, he came to Donington Park, took a race win. He seems to have reverted back to some of his contact-making ways a little bit. We see him weaving around and throwing the car this way and that way to absolutely zero advantage, and I personally don't get it. John Breitenbach, I swear, he's just winding people up, isn't he? He's gonna really upset some people, is John. He's a great bloke, though, really funny guy. He's even throwing it off the grass for our entertainment, but he's got to really keep it on the straight and narrow here, because Jack Johns is closing him down. In fact, no. Jack was actually 4/10 slower last lap.
There you go. It's a bit of a give and take at the minute, isn't it, between the two of them? John, though, having as comfortable of a lead as he could have imagined after 8 minutes in this race. 3 seconds, give or take. This time by, let's have a look. 38 flat for John. What about Mr. Johns himself? 37.8. So, excuse me, only a couple of tenths of a gain. And that's just not enough over the rest of the race if he wants to try and catch up and make a move for the lead.
Martin Shirley through on Danny Weir. Danny gives him a bit of a kiss in the bumper afterwards to say thank you. Martin moves up into 5th place. He's really showing us his pace in this one. Dan Macaulay now side by side with Leo Aina. He's got his sparring partner Lee Berridge behind him as well. Dan really enjoyed that first race, posted in Discord saying absolutely mega and tagging Ben Gregory and Lee Berridge. Dan round the outside at the hairpin. Nice move, and Lee's going to try and take advantage of the Ragnotti racing machine now as well. Gregory will be keeping an eye on this too to hopefully take advantage. Ash Beard is further up the road chasing down John Roberts. John in a podium position at this current point. John's best finish so far this season, 8th place. So I know that he'll be very happy to be up there and hope to hold on to more of those positions. But yet again, a very mixed order in this second race of the night. The format's working well.
Yeah, it is. It means that there's a lot of drivers kind of out of position of where you'd expect them to be. And it's leading to a good race here of drivers trying to almost correct it by the time we get to the end of the 20 minutes. Lee Berridge, of course, was right towards the front of the field, but stuck in P10 for the time being. Can't get one on Leo Aina. I mean, they're all copying each other, aren't they? At the moment. They're just following each other's lines. And when Dan Macaulay goes wide, it means that Aina and Berridge go wide. Ben Gregory was a little bit smarter about it, though. Didn't take that line. Look on the inside, though. Berridge on Aina. Is he going to get the run? Not quite. This could be the chance for Ben Gregory. Look at the exit. He's going to get hit easily. Surely going to be down the inside at turn 1. This could be P10 for the race 1 winner.
Dan McCauley trying it on Jan Osberg now, who's been slowed down by Danny Weir. I think Danny went wide into the last couple of corners. There is the move. Ben's gone way deep on his teammate down the inside. Rejoins Lee, says thank you very much. Back up to third place. Beard is pushing Roberts through the right-hander at turn 2. This is very, very busy racing here in the CDM Clio Cup. We hope you're enjoying what you're watching. Thanks again to everyone who supports CDM Clio Cup. Thank you to Fireback Glass, Abruzzi, Viola. It's all really good fun as John Roberts. No, John, he's gone in too deep into the hairpin trying to drive defensively. And look at that. Opportunistic as ever. Martin Shirley down the inside in the RD SimSport machine says thank you very much. Jan Osberg has now suddenly gotten a few places as well as they're nearly 3 wide. Dan McCauley pushing Roberts towards the chicane. Says, go on, John, you've got this. I believe in you. Throws him into the chicane side by side with Danny Weir. Jan Osberg gets it stopped. Everybody seemingly no. Danny turns John on the exit. Oh, it's been such a good race so far for John, but just like always, he's getting thrown about all over the place.
Yeah, it's just a momentary little bit of contact, and once you connect, it's kind of game over, isn't it? Danny Weir's now got Ben Gregory trying to pass him, and the race one winner should be able to get this one done. But it will the outside line. He'll get it. Yeah, there you go. Controlled nicely. We'll have the inside line for the second part. And he's in front, but Danny's not going to give up too easily. But I think he's going to have to rescind the move. No, he is going to go for it down the inside of the penalty corner. Goodness me. It's not going to work out, and it should be now Ben's to run away with. But nice little bit of battling there. But despite all of that, we're still only 10 seconds in the top 10. With all of that, chaos that we've had during the race, John Rainback's just not been able to run away fast enough.
Just keeping it in the family, aren't they? It's very, very feisty. Lee Berridge, lovely move around the outside into turn 1 on Leo Ayner. That gives him the inside for turn 2. He's going to get it stopped. Is Leo able to get enough of a run and a cutback on the exit? Doesn't look like it. Really tidy stuff that by Lee Berridge. And there have been discussions that Lee, of all drivers, has been one of the best improved from this season from previous Formula CDM seasons and things. Oh, Martin Shirley. Well, he had a bit of a cutback on Ashley Beard, but he then throws it up the inside and then doors him. So, not sure how that's going to look from any other perspective, but we obviously wait to see these things. They're still side by side in towards the chicane. Shirley on the outside, Beard on the inside. Oh, Beard runs a little bit deep on the way in. Martin backs out of that, slams on the brakes. Good avoidance. Now it's Osberg, McCauley, Berridge, Ayner and Gregory all trying to chase these guys down. Hoyland is making a few places up. He's up into 11th position now. Don't forget, no reverse grid for race 3, so where these guys finish now is where they're going to be on the grid for the third and final race of the night. Ash Beard up 8 places, by the way, from 11th on the grid into 3rd position. Really solid drive again by Ash tonight, had to say it. Runs wide through the right-hander. Martin catches up with him a little bit more. But Jack Johns, well, he started 8th on the grid. He's now 1.7 seconds behind John Breitenbach. He was 3/10 quicker on that previous circulation. There is the race leader. He can now see when he's putting him under pressure, Darren.
Can. But again, there's only about... Ooh. Yeah, we're going to get a 5th lap. I think there's 5 laps to go now. But it's going to be close. I mean, it was a little bit faster in race 1. It's going to be close, but still 5 laps. And I think for Jean, that's a concern. 4 laps, and it's just about 4.5 tenths a lap plus the overtake that Jack needs to gain. If it's 5 laps, that comes down to 3 tenths now. And that is a big difference in the requirement. And I think Jack's going to be feeling confident that he's at least going to catch, just in case of whether he can make that move work for him. Ben Gregory, of course, started down in P15, trying to get up past at least half the grid, right around the outside of Leo Ayner. I think Ayner's going to get a good enough run to hold that one, but you can't quite tell until they get onto the onto the turn-in phase of turn 7, because there isn't really a braking zone. Shirley ahead of Beard, back into that battle. Gregory's going to have the inside line. Does Ayner go too far wide? No, and they're still going to be side-by-side in towards the secondary right-hander. Ayner doesn't want to go into the gravel, but Gregory's on the inside, and in the end, Ben's just about going to have enough to be able to muscle his way into P8.
That might be one of the most hard battles Ben's ever had for P8, to be fair. He's really had to work, but as we've seen from Leo, he knows when to put the car in the right place at the right time, and he's certainly been getting his elbows out in his defence. Martin Shirley has overtaken Ash Beard for 3rd place. Let's have a look at that move. Oh, lovely. Out of the final corner. Gets a cutback on Ash onto the start-finish straight, and he's got the overlap before Ash can even come over to defend it. Martin leaving plenty of room, more than a car's width between the two of them, and he's going to get it completed down into turn 1. Lovely stuff that by the 81, and Shirley is surely on his way to a potential podium. He did get a podium back in race 1 at Okayama
It was a very stable race back in race 1 at Okayama. He was right up there with Dan McCauley, Sam Van Olst, and I think it was Jan Stitchbury. Yeah, it was Stitchbury that won it from Van Olst and then Shirley, and then Dan McCauley in 4th. But since then, he's not had a podium, so he's definitely got the pace to deserve one. As Osberg goes all the way over to the left, Dan's going to push him and say, come on, we need to both work together and move forward. Windscreen wipers on Osberg's car. Oh, a little bit too hot there from the Scotsman. Doesn't quite make it work. Hoyland and Weir, whoa, goodness me, nearly making contact with each other. Bulldog and Dachshund right together. What about this lead gap, though, Dara? It's coming down.
It is, and I think a lot faster than John would have been wanting to. A lap and a half ago, it was 1.6 seconds, now it's down to 9/10, and so I think Jack's going to have more than a go at this race win. John's doing everything he can to stay out in front, but I think, you know, the more the pressure is applied by Jack, I think the more that John is feeling it at the moment, which is never a positive feeling to have in the car. You can see a little bit deep into that corner, puts him offline to the second part, puts him wide into the grass, and that's another 2 or 3 tenths that Jack's going to be able to gain. And I mean, he's now roped in John Brayback, there's no doubt about that. Gap is under half a second, and with 3:44 on the clock, there's still another 3 laps of this race to go, and so Jean is looking very vulnerable at this stage, I think it's fair to say.
I think one of the worst things for John, it may not seem like it at first, but one of the worst things is that there's another sort of 5 seconds back from Jack Johns to Martin Shirley. It's not like Jack's bringing anybody with him. That might not be good either, but I'm sure at this point Jean would rather Jack have some pressure from somebody. Jack has got a big gap behind him now, which means that he can easily have a go at Jean whenever he wants and not have to worry about a car behind. He's flashing the lights and looking down the inside. I mean, he's still miles away. I'd never understand this major confidence from Jack to just be a nuisance behind another car, but I suppose it's how different people drive. But he is now, like you say, less than half a second behind. Martin Shirley got ahead of Ashbeard. He's not lost him at this point, has he? He's definitely not cleared off. And, well, Jan Osberg's getting a lot of attention from our favourite Scotsman.
He is indeed. And Dan McCauley is looking to try and get himself into the top 5 in the final couple of laps. He would be obviously the only member of the race 1 podium in the top 5, but they are running 6th, 7th and 8th, aren't they? So they're all there or thereabouts. Close together this stage, but Dan has got the best chance to get through on Jan Osberg in the closing couple of laps. John Brayback just flashing his lights. I don't know what he expects. I don't know if John's going to stand outside and just, you know, usher him through. He's going to race for this one too. There's still 2 laps to go, and Jack may definitely have the pace advantage over John, but John's got the track position advantage, and that's crucial here at Barber.
It really is. Leo Ayner's got a slowdown penalty, so he moves over, and Matt Hoyland goes through, both enthusiasts of the number 4, and through into 9th place. From the back of the grid goes Hoyland. Fair play to him. Good drive so far. Yet again, another lovely drive by Matt. But yeah, the whole flashing lights thing, I mean, it's something we wanted to touch on, that we don't really think drivers should be doing it. There's no need to. Sure, you can distract people, but if you're flashing the lights as much as Jack is, it's just uncalled for, I think. I mean, it doesn't hurt anybody, and, you know, there will be people that go, oh, stop being so soft, but there's just no point in it, because I know that people get wound up by it, especially when you see it in your rearview mirror. Sure, you could argue, yes, but it works for distraction. Yeah, it may do. It may look like it is, but I don't see the point in it sometimes. There's drivers in the real world that call for flashing lights to be banned, especially in places like the Nürburgring 24 hours or the Le Mans 24 hours. They do call for them to be banned because they are considered dangerous, you know, when you're trying to concentrate and so on. It can really throw off your judgment if you're suddenly having to watch your mirror for something that's flashing and not a consistent light, but it's what it is. We're going to have one more lap to go here, though, aren't we, Dara? And to be fair, Jack has caught up to Jean, but he's not made any inroads to overtaking him yet.
No, it's proving difficult, isn't it? I mean, he's flashing lights. I don't know what he's expecting, to be honest.
He's expecting a telling off, is what he's expecting.
Well, yeah. Jean's keeping it nice and calm and considered as he's about to find the white flag flying, and Barney up there getting himself all ready as they run their way around the penultimate corner. John's going to get, Jack's going to get a great run through there to give it a go on the inside, but it's not going to work out there, and in doing so, he's ruined his chances at going for it at turn number 1. White flag flies, 1 more to go here in race number 2, whereas there he is, up there in the on the flag podium, and John doing everything he can to hold on. He's going about it the right way for the time being.
Yeah, he's doing a great job so far as John Breitenbach. He's led this race brilliantly from the very start. He's the only driver that's currently in the position where he started this race. He was very unlucky in that first race after having such a great scrap. Jack's going to cut across the back of the car now and go to the inside line into the hairpin. He goes for it. Ooh, Jean has a little bit of a kink on the brakes there. That was borderline naughty. Ooh, Jack's going to push him through there as a result and say, go on then, put your brake lights through the corner. This battle's kicked off a bit more because Osberg is really holding up Dan McCauley, who gets a bit of a kiss off Berridge. Osberg was really slow off the corner, and suddenly there was a bit of contact there. Back to these two. And John in that gorgeous, gorgeous livery. I don't know how Jack could possibly want to overtake him, to be honest, because I just want to look at that livery the whole time.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be distracting, isn't it, for him at least, towards the front of the field. But John, I think, is just about got enough to hold on. I think it would take Jack sending it down the inside of the final corner again successfully to change the outcome. He's trying to get in the mirrors, but in doing so, he's going to put himself offline. He's got to be careful not to lose too much of that minimum apex speed. He's not. And he's going to be right on the rear end going to these final complex of corners. Is he going to send it up the inside? I think John Breakback has to be aware of that. Take a little bit of a tighter line, and he will. Is that going to allow Jack to give it a go into the final corner? He's getting the run. He's trying to go to the inside line. John's aware of it. He comes it off. There's contact.
Well, Jack Johns is going to take the win, and he crosses the line. Fretwell there, a lap down by the look of it. Jack Johns wins at Barber, takes his, what I think is his first race win of the season. Martin Shirley eventually finishes in second place. Ashley Beard is in third. And fourth place goes to Jan Osberg. Fifth place, Dan McCauley. Then it's Lee Berridge, Ben Gregory. Those three. Actually, you know what? Beard, Osberg, McCauley, Berridge and Gregory, the top five from race one, all gained 8 places in that race. Really good drive through. Jack Johns takes his first win of the season. He has pulled over straight after the line, and so too has Jan Osberg. They are told not to do that, but it's by the by now. We'll have to send them a quick reminder. But either way, Dara, what a fantastic start to the night.
Oh, yeah, fantastic way to get through the opening couple of races. Good racing all the way through that one. Shame that it ended in the way that it did, but it was a little bit foreseeable, wasn't it? Sadly. But there's going to be one more 20-minute encounter for them all to give it a go, and maybe we can get another race winner tonight. Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look at the results then of the first 2 races. Ben Gregory took the win in race 1 from Lee Berridge and Dan McCauley, with Jan Osberg in 4th place and Ashley Beard in 5th. Hoyland was 6th ahead of Stuart Clark and Jack Johns, with Martin Shirley 9th and Alex Fretwell completing the top 10. Then we had Leo Ayner, Harry 7, Danny Weir and John Roberts, with John Breitenbach completing the 15. James Underhill did not start the race. Dara, why don't you take it away with race number 2?
It was Jack Johns who was the winner, provisionally at least, with Martin Shirley and Ashley Beard joining him on the podium. Jan Osberg got up to 4th with Dan McCauley just in behind. He led through the trio that got onto the podium in race 1, including Lee Berridge and Ben Gregory, 5th, 6th and 7th for them. John Breitenbach in the end with 8th after that last corner contact. Matt Hoyland and Leo Ayner running out the top 10. Stuart Clark was 11th, but just about 10 seconds off the race win. Danny Weir was 12th, and John Roberts, the final lead lap finisher. Fretwell was a lap down. 7 and Underhill didn't really get... Well, Underhill's not here, obviously. 7 didn't really get going in that race.
Yeah, it was a big, busy start to the night so far. We've got a couple of minutes before the next race. As you can see, it's nice and quiet at the moment during warm-up. We'll wait and see if any cars go out on track. But for now, Dara and I will just take a quick break, and we will be right back with you. Do not go anywhere. Hello everybody, Chaz, Draycott and Dara Thacker in the commentary box here for the CDM Clio Cup. As you can see, a bit of a quiet warm-up session so far, Dara, and to be honest, it's a big contrast to how the racing's been, especially the later moments of race number 2.
Yeah, it was a little bit dramatic and a little bit frantic, but it means that we've had, or this warm-up session means we've had enough time for the drivers to almost reset and get themselves ready for that third 20-minute race upcoming. I think they know that there's no, I think they've seen in race 1 how the good racing works. Race 2, where not to make move necessarily. So I think it's going to balance itself out for race 3, hopefully.
Well, hopefully there is some balance, at least for this last one. We've had an apology from Jan Osberg for resetting across the line as he pulled over. The drivers have been informed not to do so, and obviously not to flash the lights in the final race. But yeah, seemingly unhappy Jack Johns. I think he was assuming that there would be a penalty or something from the incident we saw there with Jean Breitenbach. But it's hard to guess, I suppose, Dara. I mean, I looking at it at the time thought, oh well, Jean moved under braking across from Jack when he made it clear. But it's definitely going to be something that the stewards look at. I think there's going to be a few of them that need looking at, isn't there?
Yep, there will be, but that'll be able to be sorted, thankfully, after the race. We don't have to worry about it in between these two races. If we did, that would be a little bit manic for you guys. Thankfully, we've just got this 1 minute 30 left of the warm-up session, then we're ready to go racing. Once again, a few drivers have stayed in. Actually, most of the drivers have stayed in. A few drivers have come out. But it's just a bit of a break for the drivers, isn't it? Because it is quite frantic, that 15-minute qualifying, then 2 20-minute races back-to-back.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a little bit of a break.
Yeah, and it's the same for us as well. You know, we planned with all the drivers to do mid-evening interviews like we did in Formula CDM between the 2 races. But when we have 2 races back-to-back and then a third, even us commentators need a break as well at the end of the day. You know, we have to talk constantly from the start of the broadcast to when the second race finishes. So just that little break for us just to get a drink and get sorted is all golden. So, yeah, I think I'm intrigued to see how this final one goes and see if any of them have used the break for good.
Oh, let's hope and wait and see. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of them are going to be just trying to... I think kind of they know what the pace is for the drivers around them. They know that it's difficult to overtake. I think they'll be able to set their sights quite early on where they expect to be, which means I think it'll be a generally calmer lap 1, you'd hope. Drivers kind of not needing to push it too early. But it's far easier said than done, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. But either way, it's going to be an interesting final race of the night here at the wonderful Barber Motorsports Park. And I'm excited. I mean, we've got, obviously, Jack Johns starting on pole position as well, so he's in a good place to take another potential win here, isn't he?
Yep, so he'll be in a good spot. It's just about whether he can get that launch off the line. That's going to be absolutely crucial. But it's worked for the 2 drivers have started on pole so far, so you'd be hard-pressed to bet against him down in towards turn number 1, wouldn't you?
So this is how it is at the final race of the night. 4:30 in the sim, 35-degree track temperature, so it's not too bad actually at this point. It was very hot even at 9 a.m. Jack Johns on pole position, Martin Shirley alongside him. Ash Beard's had a good night so far. He starts 3rd, he's alongside Jan Osberg. Then it's Dan McCauley and Lee Berridge. Race 1 winner Ben Gregory starts 7th alongside John Breitenbach, who was looking set for a win until that final corner. Matt Hoyland and Leo Ayner start together on row 5. Then it's Stuart Clark and Danny Weir. John Roberts will start alongside Alex Fretwell. Look for him coming through the order. Harry Seven was having some hardware issues earlier on, which is why he wasn't taking full part in that second race. And James Underhill, unfortunately, unable to start the races here tonight. So Jack Johns, a great performance in that race. 7 places gained from 8th on the grid to the win. What's he going to be able to do from pole? Because surely Shirley and Beard are going to be right with him.
Yeah, you'd think so. And you'd think that they're going to be able to give him a good challenge towards turn 1, but he's got the line. Can he control it?
Let's have a look then. The 3rd and final race of the night in CDM Clio Cup here from Barber Motorsports Park is underway. The lights were held for a mighty long time. Looks like an even start from the front 2. In fact, actually, Martin Shirley's having to defend from Ash Beard. Ash goes all the way to the inside line, gets to the apex, and Martin just squeezes him. Make sure that there's enough room for the Spontex CDM Esports car to go through. We're a couple of cars down already. Harry Seven has not been able to take to the start. They're 3 wide in front. Dan McCauley on the outside of Jan Osberg and Lee Berridge. They're going to have to be very careful over the crest of the hill. There's a tiny tap. Look at Ben Gregory. It's like his car's got twice the horsepower of everyone else's. Ben goes into a gap that wasn't really there, but he makes it there. Goodness me, gets it stopped down the inside. John Breitenbach has to dive out of the way. Lee Berridge is tipped sideways in a 3-wide scenario with Jan Osberg. Leo Ayner is the one that benefits and goes through down the inside. Goodness me, a busy few corners there. Alex Fretwell's gained 5 places already, but how long's that going to last?
Yeah, it's going to be 3 wide again. Oh, no, 2x2 in towards turn 7 this time by Ayner on the inside. Osberg in there, Fretwell as well, as they work their way through the corner. Ayner, that's Stuart Clark climbing all over the curb on the inside there. What a move it was from Ben Gregory, though, all the way up to P4. He's going to be feeling pretty confident, I think, going into the, opening stages of this race, considering we're only half a lap in. John's there with a 1-second lead. He's going to be loving his start.
He's going to be very happy about that. Ash Beard, then Martin Shirley, then Ben Gregory. Dan McCauley under pressure from Matt Hoyland. Hoyland's had a really good return to pace here tonight. He gets his nose down the inside of the Scotsman. The 2 of them rub panels like they do on Forza Horizon 6 together. Matt Hoyland has that inside line. Leo Ayner says, go on then, I'll take some of that as well. He tries to get back down the inside, but what a run on the outside by the HW Racing Machine. Dan's going to be fuming at the fact that now, by being respectful and sticking to the inside line, he's lost ground and maybe lost that position as well. Dan puts the car in the middle of the road. It's side by side between Ayner and Osberg. Round the outside goes the Swede.
Oh, dearie me, it's all very friendly, isn't it? Oh, too friendly, and Ain has turned him. Ain has turned Osberg onto the gravel. You can't do that. You can't just turn in like there's no one there, can you?
You can't. It's unfortunate. And now Osberg's at the back of the field, and that's realistically his evening done, because he's going to be a long way off the back of the pack, which is really unfortunate for him. At the end of tonight's what has been really good racing action. Shirley, though, on the back of Beard still. They are chasing Johns down. That gap was over a second momentarily on the opening lap. It's now down to 7/10. So they're not letting him run away at the front of the field. And Johns has got a slowdown penalty. That's not going to help him either.
Yeah, he's gone way too straight over the chicane. I thought Ashley Beard did, to be fair, and I saw the flag pop up out the corner of my eye, and I thought maybe it was Ash that got it, but no. Seems like he's all right, and Jack is the one that has to serve the slowdown penalty in the Gold Sus machine off the back of a race win. He's not going to want that on his card. But to be fair, he's actually quite lucky because these two are scrapping behind here. Beard has lost a bit of pace on this lap. Martin Shirley's all over the back of him. And Ben Gregory will very soon be all over the back of them as well. Looks like Dan McCauley has been off the road, just running wide. He's got Fretwell behind him. Look at that. 2 laps. And Alex Fretwell has gained 7 positions. That's a great way to bounce back from the incident he had earlier, as Jack Johns has lost the lead due to that slowdown.
He has lost the lead, and it's Beard and Shirley who have both come through. Gregory's there as well. He's looking to try and pounce down in towards turn 1. You can see him moving around, trying to find the right line, but actually it's Johns on the offensive on the inside line. He's never going to get it working through there. It's just going to give the chance to Ben Gregory with a run. That's never going to work on the inside line. That was always going to close. Glad that he got out of it, because otherwise it would have been Jack Johns going right across his front bumper.
Yeah, it was... I think Ben was maybe just trying to send a bit of Jack's own medicine to him there by saying, look, I can put my nose up the inside as well. Because it does seem like Jack puts his nose there almost to scare the other driver away from the apex. You know, he's kept his nose down the inside of Martin Shirley there. Martin's had to run wide just in case there's contact. You know, it forces the other driver to avoid the incident. Martin cuts across him to say, no, thank you. I don't want any of that. And Jack needs to watch his mirrors now because Ben Gregory is all over the back of him. He's trying to make the move. Matt Hoyland is in the mix there as well. He's going to want some of this. Oh, nearly contact. You've got to be so careful into that chicane. There's so much nose-to-tail racing. Well, this is exactly what we expected from the Clios at Barber. It's really exciting stuff so far.
It is, and what we kind of hope to see over the course of the evening. Ben Gregory is hoping to give us a little bit more if he can find his way back up towards Jack Johns and then towards the lead of the race again. He's already won once tonight. Used to say that he can't win again. Difficult lines from all of the top 3, really, through that second of the 2 chicanes on the back straight. Straight back. That's just not the right line. He won't overtake Danny Weir there. Beard was being pressured by Shirley, but not anymore apparently, because look at Jack Johns down the inside of Mr. Shirley, and then you've got Gregory and Hoyland coming through as well. They've allowed Beard to get away slightly, and actually it's Hoyland pressuring Gregory towards turn 1.
Last time we had this, Hoyland turned Gregory across his nose at Jerez. He's going to be definitely making sure he doesn't do that again. But wow, yeah, it was very, very feisty stuff there between those guys into the final couple of corners. Dare I go to a replay? In fact, yes, I do. Let's go to a replay. Let's have a look at how this all transpired then. So we'll go on the chopper cam from Jack Johns. He's got a really good run through the right-hander there. Gets the run on Martin Shirley, goes to put his nose down the inside, backs out of it at first. Shirley then goes wider. Jack still trying, gets his nose down the inside, and he just runs wide into him. It's not the first time we've seen Jack do that through there tonight. Just trying to hold that inside line, but just carrying too much pace. And it seems like a repeat offence, unfortunately, doesn't it? It's the usual confidence on the way in the corner, but just too much speed at the apex.
Yep, and in the end, it's kind of come unstuck. I mean, when you take too much speed in the apex, particularly here, you're just going to be going wide. And the grass does bite here at Barber. So much rotation that you have to do around this circuit that once you get offline, you're off the road, it's that much harder to turn the car and slow the car, and it's just that exponential effect, isn't it? It's never positive for the driver. Fretwell still behind McCauley. You can see this whole long train of cars for the lead of the race. Top 8 split by 3.2 seconds, and then 8th and 9th at 2.3. So a huge disparity there. And McCauley's got a slow down penalty. Shirley's got to serve it through here. It's the slowest part of the next half of a lap, really. Probably be where it affects him the least, but I don't think he's served it just yet. And Fretwell may have a chance to get P6 in a second.
Ashley Beard's holding on to the race lead in the Spontex CDM Esports car. He had his first official race win in a few years just last week, if I remember rightly. And now I know that he will be over the moon if he can potentially take a league race win.
Dan McCauley has served the slowdown and Alex Fretwell has gone through. Those two will know to try and work together to move forward here. They've had some great scraps in the past, but I know that Dan will be thinking about the big picture here, and he'll be tapping his lid, like I said before, pointing forward, saying, look, Alex, go after that group in front. That's where we want to be. We don't want to be losing them and hanging off the back of that in 6th and 7th positions. We want to be in that top 5. Biggest mover so far in the field is Alex Fretwell. He's gained 8 positions as this race currently stands, having a really, really good run. Ashley Beard up 2 places, Jack Johns down 2 places. Martin Shirley has stayed where he is. Interesting to see that drivers, despite all the action, do stay where they are. Jan Osberg will be a bit gutted after that earlier incident, but he's trying. He's only 1.7 seconds behind John Breitenbach, so they're still having somebody to fight with, which is one of the key sort of unique selling points of any CDM iRacing leagues, is that there is always somebody to have a scrap with. We've seen that through Formula CDM. We've seen that through the CDM Clio Cup so far. We're only just into the second half of the season, but there's always a battle going on somewhere, isn't there?
Yep, you're never far away from drama in this series, and Ashley Beard's going to be hoping to run away from it as much as he can throughout the rest of this race. 12 minutes left to go here at Barber. Ben Gregory's kind of lurking still, but not able to lay much of a glove on Jack Johns. 37.6 for Beard. How does that stack up? It's not as quick as anyone behind him actually. All of them have gone quicker than Ashley Beard that time by. Yes, they've got help with the slipstream, but that's not positive for the race leader.
No, definitely not. He's working hard at the moment though, is Ash, and I mean, considering that how his season started with a 15th, a 13th and then a DNF, he had 2 top 10s back at Jerez, so I know that he'll be slightly confident, but I don't know if his confidence would have propelled him right to the top of this race. We'll see. He's been really quick tonight though, as Ash, so he's definitely got the capability to hold his own as well. He's a good driver defensively. Just depends how Martin Shirley wants to go about this attack. Will he be backwards in coming forwards, or will he be all-out attack? Because he knows that he's got the likes of Jack Johns and Ben Gregory and Matt Hoyland behind him, then Alex Fretwell and Dan McCauley. They're all drivers. Let me just double-check. They are all drivers, except for Fretwell, that have won races this season. Fretwell is the only one, other than Ash Beard and Martin Shirley, in this lot. Well, of all the drivers that are chasing down Martin Shirley, Alex Fretwell's the only one that hasn't won a race, so the train is very potent, but that's not to say Alex isn't quick. He's had a number of good finishes. He's had a number of second places this season, a number of podiums, so yeah, these guys have got to be watching their mirrors and thinking about this, but looks like Shirley could be able to mount an attack soon, so that's why we'll go to a replay.
Look, this is Leo Ayner down in towards turn 7. Does he just take too much? Yeah, it gets too happy into the corner, goes too deep and drops it off a little bit and then toes.
Yeah, he decides that's
yeah,
that.
okay.
Jack Johnson, Ben Gregory side by side through turn 1. Gregory on the inside into 2. Whoa, Jack there just leaving him a Clio's width down the inside. They've got to be careful not to get hooked together as they go up over the crest here. Jack just gives a little weave to the left, make sure he gives the extra space. Hoyland in the mix now as well. They head down towards the hairpin. Heavy braking zone. Hoyland backs out of it early. Doesn't want to push Ben into that. They both look like they're going in hot. Watch Hoyland in the orange car. He's going to try and come down the inside. Well, Jack's run really wide into Ben there. Shoves him out of road. And now it's Hoyland for 3rd place, side by side. Fretwell trying to get in the mix as well here, Dara.
Yeah, I think Jack, getting a little bit argy-bargy as he down into there. Inside line for him against Hoyland. He just about leaves the room and they'll make their way through, but he won't get the best exit. Doesn't matter though, because he's almost canned Hoyland up behind him. So they now run their way up in towards the left-right chicane. Over half this race is gone. Goodness me. I thought for a second all 3 of them were going to go off the road, but they just about keep it together. Ben Gregory, I thought he made a brilliant move for P3, but in the end it's not quite worked out for him, and now he's under pressure for P5. Fretwell's going to try and pressure him. So how quickly it can change. It's less than a lap.
It's insane, isn't it? How quickly that has just gone one way and then the other. Very close stuff from Hoyland and Jack Johns. These two battling over 3rd position. Car 3 is P3. Martin Shirley has now been able to break away and chase down Ashley Beard for the potential race lead. But what a great group we've got. Stuart Clark on the back of this as well now. He's only half a second behind Dan McCauley. Stuart's had a bit of an interesting night so far. Hoyland wants to put his nose down the inside of the Gold Sus machine. Doesn't work right now. Stuart Clark's had a bit of a topsy-turvy season. He had a good night back at Jerez with a 5th and a 7th, but before that he hadn't been in the top 10 for 5 or 6 races.
So it's good to see Stewart back up there. He's had a lot of bad luck this season. He's had a few penalties as well. He's not had a complete absence of incidents, but he's been enjoying himself once again in the CDM iRacing series. Hoyland tries the cutback down the inside of Jack Johns. He was really trying it, wasn't he? Climbing all over the curb, but again, just not quite able to do it. Jack puts the car in the right place at the right time. And I think this battle is going to go on for a while now, and it's going to give Shirley and Beard a chance to run away.
Yeah, it will, and they're going to try and do so, that's for sure. It's a full second now between them for second and third. Hoyland's climbing all over the curbs as well. Just not helping them to battle it out too much, but Johns just doesn't look like he's got the pace to try and match the top two at the moment. I think Shirley, if he can, he can work with Ashley over the next couple of laps, keep that gap at, or maybe pull it to a couple of seconds, it will allow them to fight in the last couple of laps without being overly worried of what could happen if they come unstuck. But it's not the right line for Martin through there. It's going to allow Jack Johns that little bit closer once again, and gapped under a second. So just a bit of an ebb and flow at the moment, isn't it, between Shirley and Johns?
This is the view you want, isn't it, really? Ash Beard leading the way right now, on the way to what would be his first iRacing League win in maybe 3 years, I think. So he's going to be feeling a bit nervous right now. He's going to be making sure his head doesn't fall off. He'll be very, very focused. But he knows that there's a potential for a big scrap behind him here. So he's going to keep his eye on Martin Shirley, but he's also going to be keeping his eye on that gap behind to Jack Johns. I know from, well, I've not led many races on iRacing, but I know when you're in front of someone, you always look at the car behind you and then the gap behind them, knowing there's a big gaggle back there that are all scrapping. You want to make sure that that gaggle is not closing in on you. Alex Fretwell tries it round the outside of Ben Gregory, and he's going to lose out to Dan McCauley as a result. Dan gets his nose down the inside, side by side with the 9PP racing machine. Love the livery on Fretwell's car. Gorgeous looking race car. Ben Gregory tries to give what little slipstream he can to Alex Fretwell, who's down his inside. Dan backs out of that one, thinks better of it, doesn't want to go too wide into there. The gap between Jack Johns and Martin Shirley is still coming down again here. It's fluctuating a lot, isn't it?
It is, and it means that we are still seeing quite a lot of question marks over, who can be in the battle for the win come the end of this race, come the final lap of this race, because Beard and Shirley are there, but Johns is kind of arriving. I mean, and if Johns does, Hoyland, Gregory, Fretwell, McCauley and Clark kind of come with, but I think even if Stuart Clark's, 3 seconds off the lead now, he's in P8, he's just never, ever going to get to the lead from there without quite a lot of calamity in front of him, and I don't think there's going to be any argument from him in saying that. John Roberts going very wide off the road. That's not the right line, but such as the gaps further back, he's not lost out too much. Yeah,
he's not going to be too worried. Martin Shirley now closer to the back of Ash Beard's Clio than he ever has been. All over the back of the Clean Hedgehog, the Spontex CDM Esports machine. They're actually matte white, those cars, with all the glossy white stickers on them, but it's hard to see white when it's matte. It may as well just be glossy white. Either way, we've got these two fighting, and we've got Hoyland all over the back of Jack Johns as well. Down towards the hairpin they go. Johns over on our left-hand side. Hoyland keeping sort of straight, opens the corner up a little bit. He's going to go for that cutback again, I reckon. He tries to glance across the back of Jack's machine, but look, just isn't quite able to do it. Jack's got the ability now to come all the way over to the left. He's not doing it too quickly, which is good to see. He's not completely cutting his nose off. What he was doing there was making it so that if Matt did want to go right, he'd have to go a long way right and really compromise himself. It's good defensive driving from Jack, but I'm sure that right now he would rather be attacking than defending.
Yep, he would. There's no doubt about that. You'd always rather be on the front foot, wouldn't you? Particularly when you get in towards the final stages as we are now. Roberts with a slowdown penalty that I'm seeing behind Brayton back now. Slightly unfortunate. 4 minutes left on the clock, which means we should have another 3 laps to go, I think, when we cross the start-finish line this time by. So not a long time left for these drivers to sort it out. But for Ashley Beard, he's keeping enough control of this race that Shirley's not got much of a say in it yet. But he is just there. I mean, if there's any kind of mistake from Beard, if there's any wide moment, then Shirley is ready to pounce, and that's going to be the concern for the driver of the 995.
Yeah, definitely. He will be really quaking in his boots the closer and closer the end of the race gets. That's the thing. The closer you get to the checkered flag, the more you realise, oh my God, I might win this. It really starts to ramp up. The curve of how nervous you'll get at this point. I mean, for me anyway, I've only ever won, I think, 1 league race on iRacing, and I remember those last few laps were absolute torture. Matt Hoyland has gotten side by side with Jack Johns here. He's got more of a run than he had previously, but that means that he's not going to be able to get the cutback as strongly at the hairpin as he was trying before. Gregory's overdone it. Gregory's gone deep. He's gone straight on, and he's off into the gravel. He's messed it up, and he's lost that position. Hoyland has got the cutback that I didn't think he was going to do on Jack Johns. Jack moving over to the left a little bit, trying to squeeze him to that left-hand side to keep him on the outside line. Hoyland's going to have a really good run into the chicane, but no, he's overdone it, and he's going to get a slowdown penalty. Fair play. He could have absolutely bowled Jack out of the way there, but Hoyland has been put into a position he didn't want to be in. He's got a slowdown penalty, and it's really, really going to hurt him, that one. But you know what? Jack did a great job there defending. Right place, right time.
Yep, and Jack is up to third. Oh, sorry, up to third. What am I on about? Jack is defending third. He's been in third the whole time. Sorry. Hoyland, though, the one who's going to suffer with that slowdown. Fretwell and McCauley are going to be very interested now. When did he take that slowdown? Can he take it in a place which is advantageous? Well, no. No point finishing that sentence, because in the end, the answer is no. Fretwell and McCauley are through. They're now up to fourth and fifth. Can they maybe sneak themselves onto a podium? There are 2 to go then here at Barber to end out the hour's worth of racing tonight.
What a brilliant race this has been by Alex Fretwell, by the way. Not a single off-track all race, and he's gained 10 positions. Not only that, but he's gotten past the top 3 from the first race of the night. He's got past everybody. He's moved up 10 places into 4th from 14th on the grid after finishing a lap down in race number 2. After considering how annoyed he would have been after what happened in race 2, that is a really measured drive so far by Alex Fretwell. What he doesn't need to do now is get wound up at Jack Johns. He's really throwing it to the inside straight away, though. I didn't expect that from Alex. And now, Dan McCauley's giving him a bit of a kiss through the corner. He wouldn't have meant that, but yeah, Alex obviously slowed down by the potential move, but I didn't expect him to go for it this soon. I suppose he wants to send a message.
Yeah, he does. Right behind Johns and to the outside line to turn 7. Can he maybe push Jack offline? I think McCauley and Hoyland are going to be pushing each other offline through this little complex of corners, but in the end it will be Dan McCauley just about in front, and he's back up into the top 5 again. That's where he started this race. Doesn't really tell the whole story, though, does it?
No.
Of his 19 minutes so far. Johns, I think he's lost a chance at the win now. The battling means that he is now too far back from Beard and Shirley to really have a go unless they go into each other, and that's feels unlikely to happen on the last lap because they've not necessarily been battling too hard, but you can't rule it out.
No, I think both of these guys, they've both had pretty difficult starts to the season. Martin Shirley, I'm sure, will be really pleased to be right up there. He has had a podium back at Okayama, like I've said, but he missed the previous round of the championship, and other than that, he's only ever had 2 other top 5, so I know that Martin will be thinking championship points at this stage and hoping to just hold on to what will be his best result of the season. Ash Beard, before this round, his best result was 2 9th places last week at Jerez. He's certainly on a very upward curve with his results this season, is Ash. So hats off to him. That is going to put it to bed almost for Martin Shirley. That loses him a lot of time at turn 2. Meanwhile, this is still kicking off here, Dara.
Yep, it is, and Jack Johnson's got a lot of defending to do on this final lap. Into turn 5, Fretwell to the outside line. Dan McCauley's involved in all of this as well. And he's going to sort it down the inside of Fretwell. There wasn't really a gap there, but he's found it, and he's got up the inside. Can he get the exit to pick off Fretwell? I'm not too sure. They're going to be side by side, but Fretwell's going to have the inside line, and with the pace advantage, John's really defending that inside line. Should be able to go back to the racing line to defend into turn 7, and will do. None of them are going to get enough of a run to stick it down the inside here, and they'll come out exactly as they entered. John's just about clinging onto that third for dear life.
Matt Hoyland actually gets a really good run around the outside of Dan McCauley. Dan will be screaming at him, "No, Matt, stop it," because he'll be saying, "We want to fight with those guys up there. We don't want to fight with each other." And Hoyland has completed the move. Good respect given by the pair of them. Right at the front there, it's Ash Beard with just a few more corners left to go. Like I said, his best result so far this season is 2 9th places last week at Jerez. He can be really focused when he wants to be, Ken Ash, and it's been great to see him get back into sim racing and back into the league and really pushing on for some strong results. And the hard work is going to pay off. Spontex CDM Esports get their first win of the season. Not biased at all. Ash Beard wins at Barber. What a drive that is, sunshine. Martin Shirley will be happy with second place. What a great fight that was behind Jack Johns, Alex Fretwell, Matt Hoyland, Dan McCauley, Stuart Clark, Ben Gregory. Hats off for your services to entertainment, gentlemen. Lee Berridge next up in 9th place. John Breitenbach completes the top 10. John Roberts and Jan Osberg will complete the finishes across the line. But Ash Beard takes what will be his first league race win in a number of years. And I know that that one is going to mean a hell of a lot to him.
Yep, and he's going to be delighted, I'm sure. It was a really hard-fought effort, just about defended enough. Wasn't put under too much pressure in terms of moves, but I mean the physical reminder of pressure was right there for him to be very much aware of, in the fact that his mirrors were full race long. So good defence in the end, and he'll be pleased.
Martin Shirley put in a great race there as well. Started second on the grid, stayed there throughout. Really solid stuff from him. Love to see it. And RD Simsport 2 get a lot of championship points. Like I said at the start of the show, we are missing the team boss, Mr. Sutherland. We've not heard from him for a little bit, but he was in the YouTube chat tonight, so good to see you, Rob, if you're still there. But please let us know if you're coming back. We'd like to see you back on track, mate. Jack Johns had a really good result in third place, a solid night for him. Fretwell in fourth. What a drive that is as well, Dara. That was pretty nuts, wasn't it? That was very, very good to get through the order like that.
Yeah, and impressive to be able to manage it at a track like this as well, which has proved difficult to overtake at all night. He'll be pleased. And yeah, I mean, race 2 was a little bit frantic, wasn't it? But race 1 and 3 really had some fantastic racing all the way through.
Yeah, that was great, great fun. We'll have a look at the race results then. Final race of the night complete. And it is Ashley Beard taking his first win of the season. Martin Shirley in second place with Jack Johns scoring another podium, and I tell you what, he worked hard for that podium. Alex Fretwell finishes in fourth ahead of Matt Hoyland, who finishes clear of Dan McCauley and Stuart Clark. Ben Gregory, after that little mistake, dropped down a few places. He will lose a good number of points as a result of that, but after taking his first win of the season earlier in the night, I'm sure he will not mind. Lee Berridge was 9th, ahead of Jean Breitenbach in 10th, with John Roberts 11th and Jan Osberg in 12th. Then we had Danny Weir in 13th. Leo Ainer did not finish the race. Harry Seven and James Underhill did not start said race. But that was very, very entertaining above all else, Dara. I don't really know where to start with all of that, but what I know we can do is at least go back in time to the start of the race and we can slow-mo this stuff and we'll speak to some drivers. Who do you think we should try and grab hold of first?
I reckon we should get in Ashley Beard. I think he's going to be the happiest, isn't he, after that win?
Yeah, he absolutely will be. Ash, welcome in, mate. Like I was just been saying to the guys, your first league win in how many years?
Since probably 21.
Wow. So even I thought it was maybe 2 or 3 years, but it's nearly 5 years, mate. Flipping out. You must be absolutely buzzing with that.
Oh, absolutely. I just had to park that car. It was just, as soon as I got the start, I knew I've got a chance. And I was like, I've just got to defend this now.
Well, it certainly worked out for you. But Martin didn't give you any moment's rest, did he? He was all there the whole time.
Safe to say I've lost a few kilos in water weight combined in that last race. Thanks to him. He's kept me honest.
Absolutely, but it was a fair attack and a fair defence. What was it like trying to drive the car around Barber tonight? Because it looked like good fun. I mean, I know it's a good circuit, but what was it like from your perspective?
It's kind of like the best way I can describe this track, and especially with this car, it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah,
you just got to keep that momentum going, and if you lose that momentum, it goes. So yeah,
I was going to say
it's a very fun track.
Trying to keep the momentum in a car with what feels like 5 horsepower is definitely not easy. But what have you made of the season so far? Obviously, we haven't had a chance to catch up with you so far. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, learning curve. It's took me a long time to adapt to the car, but after doing a bit of testing and a few hints and stuff like that, we're starting to crack it. So hopefully we can get a strong end to the year.
Well, fingers crossed for you, mate. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Well, just thanks to the guys, thanks to James, great bloke, and all the races, very clean racing, and hopefully we can go again next week.
Well, fingers crossed for you, mate. Very well done on a great victory, and yeah, we look forward to hopefully speaking to you again soon.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Well, Ash Beard, 5 years since his last race win in an iRacing league. That's got to feel very good, hasn't it?
Yeah, for everyone to unmute my microphone, it'd be even better. But yeah, I mean, it must feel fantastic. I mean, 5 years is a long time. I mean, 5 years ago we were still kind of at the back end of COVID lockdowns, weren't we? So that is a very long time ago. So pleased for him to be able to get that on the board, and hopefully this can see him onto a couple more in the next few months at least, or at least in the next, maybe even next week. Who knows?
You never know. I hope you'll forgive me, but who I'm going to throw at you right now, Dara, is our race 1 winner, Ben Gregory. He got close at Jerez, and now he's done it.
My telepathy's worked, because that's who I was hoping you'd drag in, actually. Welcome in, Ben. Congratulations on that race win earlier on. It was difficult to overtake later on, but how pleased were you to get that win early on and just kind of give yourself the best footing for the rest of the evening?
That was good. Like, I didn't expect to get pole either. Like, that was a bloody shock as well. Like, I was like, oh, cool, everyone's doing 37. I was the last lap, I was like, I am 2 tenths up. What has happened here? I think I went in, took some fronts, and I think actually that really did it. Colder tyres and less pressures, it really helped. But no, I had honestly an absolutely stonking night with everyone's racing. I didn't mind me screwing up on that last race and locking up, going deep into the hairpin. Yeah, like I had a lot of fun, and that's really what matters. I just need to come third now. I get all the set.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, talk us through what made it so difficult, because race 2 and 3, obviously, you started a little bit further back. What made it so difficult at this track to make the overtakes compared to tracks we've been to so far this season?
I think the track is very flowing, and like you can't, especially with no ABS, you can't really force a lunge in the way that you could say in a touring car and a GT3. Like in like some corners that you could really actually throw it up the inside, you cannot do it in these. These are very much momentum cars, and if you screw the momentum by considering how like close we were, like top 5 at one point, we're within a second in one bubble, and if one of us threw up the inside of the other, that entire little small pack is now falling back and a good half second off the cars in front. So it's very much finding your move where you could make it. Hoping people make mistakes as well, which was nice to capitalise on. But yeah, it was just, I think this track's just a lot of patience, really.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think we saw all that over the course of tonight. Do you think it's going to be much different next week at Zolder when we go there in a week's time?
A lot more hard stops, a couple of chicanes, 3 chicanes, and a couple of like hairpin-esque corners, which could really help. Like, are we running? We're not running the fast chicane, are we? We're running the proper chicane.
The good one.
The good one, the proper one, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be quite interesting. There's a lot of switch back and forth and those, I think. But hopefully people keep their heads a bit, not send it too hard, because it's very, again, as we're still seeing tonight, it's very easy to lock these cars up.
Oh yeah, definitely so, and that's always going to be a concern. But it will be fun at Zolder next week. Congratulations though on the win tonight, though, Ben. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like? Oh goodness me, is there anyone you would like to give a shout out to? There we go.
Honestly, everyone tonight, Dan McCauley especially, was being really good to race against. I will apologise for this slight wiggle as we're coming into the brakes on lap 1, last race. I really didn't mean it. I was trying to keep on the right line. But yeah, it was good of him to give me space as well, and just everyone I was racing against tonight. It's fantastic.
Well said. But yeah, congratulations, Ben, and good luck for next week. We'll hope to maybe speak to you again after some success at Zolder.
Yeah, excited for the rain.
Well, there we go. Ben Gregory finally getting that race victory. And to be fair, after the performance we saw last week at Jerez, it was a shame for him to come back from that ban and not get a race win, wasn't it? So I know that Van Olst put on an incredible performance, but yeah, it's good to see Ben finally get that win. Only 1 race later.
Yeah, definitely so. And good to see him feeling positive coming out of it as well, and hopefully leading on to a little bit more success later in the season, because he's shown some good pace all the way through.
He absolutely has. So too has this guy as well, with a win and a podium here tonight. Jack Johns must be a pretty happy bunny. Jack, a bit of a hard one to win for you in that second race, but you got there in the end. Talk us through your night.
Yeah, the second race was pretty much a fishing game, to be honest. Managed to get through the start. I remember being a little bit fearful with Leo at one point at the start. I think he was on my rear quarter panel, and I know he doesn't like to give up easily, let's say. And yeah, once I got through, then it was just a matter of hunting down John. And to be honest, for the most part, our laps were basically, I was closing in 2/10 a lap, which is nothing around here when he had a 2 or 3 second lead, I think. But then he started making mistakes towards the end, and then it's such a difficult track to overtake on with the lack of toe and stuff. Even in race 3, Matt, I just said to him, Hoyland, he would have got me easily if there was just a little bit of slipstream. And same for the top 2. I felt like I'm happy, but I also felt like more was on the table in that last race. The slowdown obviously screwed me over at the start.
Yeah, it's interesting how the night can go, though, isn't it? I mean, a lot of the time you see that sort of fixed grid from the race 2 result to race 3, but it still shimmies around a hell of a lot in that third race sometimes, doesn't it? It's nuts.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, props to everybody. I don't want to say just today, obviously, all the time, but in quali, I messed up like a couple laps, but I found myself down in like 10th, I think, just by being 3 or 4 temps off. Like, the field is so tight. And then, I proved in race 2 that you can move up, but in race 1, I was going nowhere. Like, everyone was just putting in the same laps. I sat there in P8. I was doing the same pace. So everyone was super consistent today. Like, frustrating, but it's obviously that's racing.
Yeah, that's what makes it so good to watch sometimes, is everyone just needs to find that 1% and certainly keeps it exciting. What are your feelings, I should say, towards the rest of the season? We've got Zolder next in the rain. Are you excited for that?
I have I didn't really get to experience Donington in the rain because of my race 2 start shambles. All by myself, I might add. It was all me. But so yeah, it'd be nice to actually get one race in the rain just to try it. I actually don't know if I'm any good or not yet, because rain wasn't out back when I had my sim before. So let's see. Looking forward to it.
Well, we look forward to it as well. Jack, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before you go?
Just to yourselves and everyone driving. It was tough, but good fun.
Cracking stuff. Always good to speak to you, Jack. Cheers for coming in. Well done on the win, and we'll see you at Zolder.
See you, Zolder.
Well, Jack Johns had a very trying night, that's for sure. Like he said, difficult to overtake, and obviously difficult to hold on to a lead. And I mean, that slowdown really did make a mess of his night in the end there, didn't it? It's a shame to see.
Yeah, he had both sides of the coin, didn't he? Attack and defence, and found both equally difficult, which was the challenge of a track like Barber. Hopefully a little bit different to Zolder next week, and I think it will be different characteristics of the circuit, but excited for that one in 7 days' time.
Yeah, absolutely, and those 7 days will absolutely fly by. But that is going to be it from us here tonight at Barber in round number 5 of the CDM Clio Cup. Thanks once again to everyone that supports CDM Clio Cup. You'll see their logos in the top right of the screen. We've got Field there, Abruzzi, and Fireback Glass. Recently announced as well will be the Sim Global Expo on the 3rd weekend of January in 2027. I'm going to be a stage host there at that event at the NEC in Birmingham. Check out the simglobalexpo.com to check the information and everything on that and get pre-sale tickets. It's been really, really exciting to finally announce all of that after the work that's gone in. But that is it for CDM Clio Cup here tonight, and we look forward to a round in a week's time at Zolder. Thanks once again to all the drivers for putting on such a great show. Thank you once again, Dara, for being oh so fun to work with, and we'll see you in a week's time. Take care.